Good. Good afternoon and warm welcome to the UNFCCC Pavilion. It's a pleasure for us to have you here in this special event in which we are going to launch the Data Climate Hub. My name is Veronica Colerio. I'm from the Transparency Division in the UNFCCC Secretariat, and I will be your moderator for the day. We all know that every national report, every submission that the UNFCCC receives has a lot of insights that can move stronger policy, that can move stronger cooperation, that can move stronger finance as well. But sometimes we have so much information in so many different formats and submissions that it's kind of difficult to access it and to use it for stronger climate action. And I think that's why the UNFCCC Secretariat, together with Microsoft and in collaboration with EY and Nedampo Africa, joined forces to create this UNFCCC Climate Data Hub. And the idea is that by using this tool, data will be accessible for all and will be transparent. The Data Hub represents more than just a new digital tool. It will be a bridge between science and policy and implementation, and I think that's why we are so happy to be here today. I would like to give the floor. We have two great speeches to start this event, to set the scene. And I have Mrs. Shuhong Wang. She's the director of the Transparency Division at the UNFCCC Secretariat. And she will be followed by Mrs. Melanie Nakagawa. She's the Chief Sustainability Officer at Microsoft. And with that, if I can give the floor to Shuhong.
Good afternoon, distinguished delegates, dear colleagues and friends. So it's really a great pleasure for me to welcome you all to this very important event at COP30 on behalf of the UNFCCC Secretariat. So basically, today the focus is really on the Climate Data Hub. This is a project that we have already been working with our partners for over 2 years. Today is really a very good opportunity to share with you where we are and our vision. So what are we heading in the future? So as you know, the UNFCCC Secretariat has long recognized the importance of transparent climate data and information in collaborating and deriving meaningful insights at the pace required by climate emergencies. It was at this backdrop that we started the journey of building the Climate Data Hub. So our journey actually started at COP28, exactly 2 years ago, when the UNFCCC Secretariat announced its partnership with Microsoft to implement the Climate Data Hub project with the aim of building a centralized platform for climate data and information, which will provide actionable insights to all stakeholders and better inform the multilateral climate process. COP29 in Baku last year was another key milestone of this journey. At COP29, we provided an update on the advancements in building the data infrastructure for the Climate Data Hub, as well as on the development of analytical and collaborative tools designed to facilitate the review of national climate reports submitted by all countries under the Paris Agreement. So today, I'm really very happy to announce that the initial version of the Climate Data Hub is now ready and functional. At the moment, we are just doing the final checks. Starting from early next year, users will be able to access the financial, technical, and capacity building data via the public interface of this climate data hub. So this marks the beginning of a fully fledged global climate data hub. The hub will continue to grow, integrating new data sources as we move forward, including those data from the non-party stakeholders. So our vision for the climate data hub is to have all the data and tools on one single platform that are powered by modern technologies and AI, which will inform the pathway to closing the 1.5-degree gap and to bridge global commitments with local actions. So as you may well know, the Paris Agreement outlines a clear, very clear pathway and policy cycle for global climate ambition. So all the countries, they do their planning through nationally determined contribution, the NDCs, as you have heard very often and everywhere during this COP. And then the countries, they implement the NDCs, they report, and then review the progress of NDC implementation, as well as support provided through the biannual transparency reports. So that's the mechanism under the Paris Agreement. There is this enhanced transparency framework, so that's the reporting cycle. And then all of this will then inform the global stocktake that takes place every 5 years. So transparent climate data and information are really critical in this Paris Agreement policy cycle. As we often hear, you cannot manage what you cannot measure. So indeed, climate data and transparency enables countries to assess their national and global climate actions and identify areas where more support and effort are needed. Identify needs and setting priorities for climate policies. Present a clear overview on support and funding opportunities as well as need. Our journey in building this global climate data hub would not have been possible without the outstanding engagement and expertise of our partners. I wish to extend our deepest gratitude to Microsoft, whose strategic partnership has been instrumental in shaping the hub's architecture and AI capabilities. We are also grateful for the ongoing collaboration and future engagement of EY and Nadamco Africa, whose technical expertise and vision will be vital as we expand the hub's reach and impact. So I invite all of you, governments, organizations, technical experts, and advocates to join us in this ongoing journey. Your commitments, expertise, and contribution are vital to realizing the full potential of the Climate Data Hub going forward. Together, we can ensure that this platform not only meets the needs of today, but also evolves to address the challenges of tomorrow. So, thank you very much for the ongoing commitments to our shared climate goals, and I look forward to a very, very successful session today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shuhong, for reminding us of how important this tool is and why. And please, Melanie, you have the floor.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. Let's see, here we go. We're going to compete for the sound for this room versus the other room, but I'm a very loud talker, so it'll be good. So first, thank you again so much for everyone being here, and thank you for all the support in learning more about this new data hub. Accurate, timely, and transparent climate data is essential to achieving goals of the Paris Agreement. Yet many countries still face challenges in reporting and accessing the insights that they need, and that's why collaboration is absolutely critical. So I'm delighted to be here with our partners, joined by EY, as well as our partner NetAmco, the newest one in NetAmco Africa, alongside the UNFCCC Transparency team. We're a proud partner of this work, and we're really proud to showcase, as you mentioned, the milestones we've made since announcing this partnership in 2 years. It's allowing this platform to be something that makes climate data more accessible, actionable, and interoperable. And the AI-enabled climate data assistant was developed in partnership with the UNFCCC. So just to give a little more context of what the hub is and what it aims to do, it's going to help simplify national reporting under the Paris Agreement, reducing the complexity and improving accuracy. It enhances transparency to give stakeholders a public, clear visibility into this progress and the process. And it empowers users to create their own tools and applications, fostering a vibrant ecosystem of climate solutions. The aim is really quite simple: to help countries move faster from data to decisions, to ensure that this reporting becomes a catalyst for action and not a barrier. And I have to take a moment to put a little bit of personal pride in why this hub is so important. My first COP was in 2006 in Nairobi. And I remember every COP since then standing in the corridors, waiting for the printed documents to come out with my colleagues, going through line by line by line. And the months leading up to every SB COP or the COP itself, where we're poring over every report that comes out to try to figure out what are the differences, what's changing, what did each of these different country governments say. And it is just incredible that we're going to have a singular platform for all public stakeholders, from high schoolers to college students to those with graduate degrees and the smartest of negotiators that are in the rooms down the hall, that they can all access and really understand what's happening here. And now, since joining Microsoft to be able to be a partner to help provide that technology platform, I'm just really excited to see how the UNFCCC is strengthened and how all parties and stakeholders are strengthened, having access to something that is so essential, but for years was incredibly complex and dire. So thank you so much. I'm really thrilled that together we're going to be able to build this digital infrastructure that supports global climate ambition and action. The better data is going to lead to better outcomes for both people and the planet. And I'm really thrilled that we get to have this panel to showcase more about the progress that's been made by this incredible team. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Melanie and Shuhong, for setting the scenes for us all, and also for flagging how collaboration is so important to get to the results that we will see today. And with that, we would like to share with you a short video that captures a little bit the story behind this tool and how this is built to be a very good solution. So please, if you can show the video.
This new era of climate action is about turning ambition into real impact, accelerating implementation, and spreading the vast benefits of climate action to people everywhere. Under the Paris Agreement's enhanced transparency framework, countries share information on emissions, mitigation, adaptation, and support.
Transparent climate data enables strong climate policies, guides investment, and builds trust.
But with over 190 countries submitting climate reports in different formats, it hasn't always been easy to access, analyze, and compare information. That complexity has slowed learning and collaboration.
That's why UN Climate Change has partnered with Microsoft, EY, and Nadamco Africa on the Climate Data Hub project, a modern AI-powered platform designed to unify, simplify, and make climate data accessible to all.
With its intuitive, data-driven interface, users can explore information using simple queries, easily transforming raw data into actionable insights.
For countries, the Climate Data Hub opens opportunities to share experiences, learn from one another, and accelerate collective progress. It's not just a data platform. It's a bridge between science, policy, and implementation.
Policymakers can validate decisions, benchmark progress, and learn from peers, asking, for example, how have other countries supported renewable energy transitions, and get clear, contextual answers drawn directly from national reports.
Researchers can explore official data sets, generate tailored analyses, and strengthen their studies and models.
The Climate Data Hub is a centralized, authoritative global source of climate information, open to all, empowering everyone to turn climate insights into action.
With the Climate Data Hub, we're making climate data transparent and accessible in a whole new way.
You don't need to be a data scientist. You just need a question. So now the question is yours. What will you discover? What will you change? What solutions will you shape?
And now it's time to actually see the tool in action. So we will have a short video as well that will show how the tool is working. I think this is really nice to see it in reality. So please.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lunava from the Transparency Division, and I am pleased to introduce you to the UNFCCC Climate Data Hub. The Hub, developed as a global platform that enables parties, policymakers, researchers, businesses, and the public to understand and act on climate change. Its purpose is to use data to link global climate commitments with local action, advancing efforts towards limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees centigrade. Featuring an interactive portal, AI-driven insights, and a climate AI agent, the Hub makes climate data accessible, transparent, and actionable, strengthening the global stocktake process and supporting a sustainable, equitable future. We now move on to the home page. The top banner consists of the home, datasets, countries, and about section. You can also find the global search bar along with a link to the UNFCCC main site. On the landing page, you will have three primary options to begin your exploration. Choose a dataset. Start by selecting a dataset from the top bar menu or through the introduction section. This lets you dive into the information that matters most to you. Select a country. Do you prefer to focus your search on a specific country? Simply choose one from the top bar or country data section to access country-relevant data and climate policy documents. Lastly, use the AI Climate Assistant. For a more interactive experience, it can guide you, answer your questions, and help tailor the data exploration to your needs. Now, when we scroll down further, we find 13 different visualizations to give an idea about what the datasets might look like, showing different KPIs of information. You can see how finance has been mobilized, received, or needed. It encompasses also information on technology development and transfer, support needed and received, capacity building support needed and received, as well as Article 13 and transparency-related support needed and received. When you click Learn More, you can delve more into each of the datasets. Lastly, we also have the Explore Country Data part as well. From here, you can navigate and explore other countries to look at the latest climate data and information reported by each country under multilateral climate change processes as currently available in the database. Further down, you also have the Documents and Decisions sections where you can browse all latest BTR reports, party-submitted reports, as well as other decisions and resources. You also find access to the news section from the UN Climate Change. Now, coming back to the datasets. As part of the Climate Data Hub, we envision the hub to be the central source of climate data. At the moment, we have only FTC support. In the future, we would want to include further climate data as well. If we click on the drop-down, at the moment you will only see FTC data which is active. The Climate Data Hub is developed under Decision 5 CMA 3 and the FTC support data is the only accessible dataset at the moment. By selecting it, you can analyze information for all countries covered in the database. Let us look at some key features available within the FTC dataset. Here, we see some key figures and factoids which are presented based on a biennial transparency reports and common tabular formats submitted by parties as currently available in the database. The underlying data model may exclude some submissions that do not follow the agreed CTF structure. Hence, we encourage parties to report data through the existing ETF reporting tools in standardized formats for easy ingestion of data into this hub. We now come to the visualizations where we can create custom visuals. Here we can instantly view essential facts for generating custom visuals and tables. We can use a wide range of views. and filters to present data our way. Right now, we can select various custom visuals using some filters. For example, I select some financial instruments and which displays a set of instruments that I can also use a secondary filter to filter out. Likewise, we can also download this data for further analysis. We can also use AI-powered analysis to give us information about the current visualization. And we can ask further prompts with regard to this question. We will come to the AI part in the later stage. Now we come to the custom tables part, where we can generate custom tables with various options. This part comprises of all data submitted, which may help us to do a comparative analysis of finance information. We can download this information as a CSV file, and this may be useful for stakeholders who could be policymakers, researchers, or the public at large. For example, let us use some filters out here. I will use a filter, for example. I will select a country, say Germany here, and click the Save option. Here we can see a range of information that has been reported by the party. For example, we can see the title of projects and programs, the channel of support, funding source, instruments used, as well as the sectors and subsectors, as well as additional information. If you are interested now in a particular country, we can go to the country profile section and we can select from this list. For example, if I want to select Indonesia, I can select I, and we can go down further into its dedicated page. Here you will find a high-level information overview of various profiles of Indonesia, for example, geographic, population, economy, climate profile, etc. With F3C support data, you can generate custom visuals likewise. You will also find some key policy documents as submitted by the party. For example, if you click the various options, here you will find links to the NDC submitted national adaptation plans, adaptation communications, registry, as well as the BTR reports. So let us look at the financial support needed by Indonesia. Here you will see a similar level of information with some key information and factoids which shows the support for this particular country. As we have seen earlier, we also have some options for generating different charts and visuals based on the information that has been submitted. We can use the similar download option and AI-powered analysis in this case as well, which will show what this information talks about. We can also download this table using the filter options out here. We can, using the CSV file, we can also find records using some keywords to find information about this country. Likewise, now we move on to the AI Climate Assistant that comes up at the end of the page. Right now, let us start with different prompts. Let me start a new topic. Here you will find a range of prompts that are visible. For example, if I click View More Prompts, I will find more prompts that are listed as descriptive, financial, technology, as well as other sections as well. Let me try to use one prompt to give me an answer for 5 methods that developed countries use to define support as new and additional. So while the AI researches this answer, I would like to also highlight that the AI only queries information from the BTR reports and party-submitted tabular information and data through the ETF reporting tools. So here now we see that we have received the answer from the assistant, and we have also seen that there are also various citations. For example, Germany BTR sections, Canada BTR, and Australia BTR sections, which have provided more information about this query. So here the AI assistant also asks us if you also want to check the common tabular format as well. We can select yes or no depending upon our need. Now, let me also try to also find another question which is outside of the BTR reports. For example, what is the population of Indonesia? So here we will not get the answer because it is outside of the finance information that has been generated. So we can also find information, we can also download options and information using different prompts, and we can also generate reports out of this from the AI information. There is also possibility of generating graphical illustrations and charts and also CSV files. With this, as we look at the answer, yes, we find some answer out here with regard to the evidence. So we also have some BTR sections also and page numbers reference. Likewise, this also says that we've run out of questions for this topic. We can also start a new topic with a limit of 3 questions. And with this, I think we have come to the conclusion of the demo, and I would like to thank each one of you for your time. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the team, and we will be happy to go through with you once again on the Climate Data Hub. Thank you very much.
A very good glimpse of how the tool works and the many things that we will be able to do with it and all the information that we will be able to reach. And with that, I would like to ask our panelists to come to the front. So we have today 4 panelists. They will be able to go deeper into the tool, and if we have time, you will be able also to make questions. I would like first to introduce them. I have here to my left Mr. Vlad Truska, manager of the Transparency Division of the UNFCCC Secretariat. He leads on technology-related activities supporting the Enhanced Transparency Framework. I also have next to him Mr. Con Divine, the Global Vice Chair for Sustainability at EY, where he guides the firm's sustainability and climate agenda worldwide. We have also Mr. Marcio Gonçalves, Director of Government Affairs at Microsoft Brazil, bringing expertise in digital transformation and responsible AI. And last but not least, we have Mr. Ludwig Wolfbein, Next Generation Family Office Leader at Nedamco Africa, who's pioneering AI and climate fintech solution to unlock sustainable financing in the Global South. So as you have seen, we have a very varied panel, and I hope we will be able to know a lot from them and get different perspectives on the tool. I would like to start with you, Vlad. I know the Climate Data Hub is clearly a major step in modernizing how countries can share and use information, not only countries, but under the Paris Agreement. So my question to you today is, how does the UNFCCC Secretariat envision using this advanced and artificial intelligence in the new Climate Data Hub to strengthen transparency and boost climate action? I would also like to hear from you what are the key challenges that the Secretariat aims to tackle as this platform evolves.
Thank you so much, Veronica, and I'm glad to see people here for this event. 1 year ago, exactly 1 year ago, I was talking about the Climate Data Hub, and at that time we were celebrating because we were just finalizing a huge project for the Secretariat, and that was for developing the new tools for parties for reporting under the Paris Agreement. So that was quite an important step for us. And we were talking about the huge amount of data that will be coming to the Secretariat by parties using these new tools for reporting, especially that at that time there was the expectation of the biennial transparency reports being submitted by parties for the first time under the Paris Agreement. And at that time, I was using a quote for Mark Twain that was basically saying that data is like garbage. You need to know what you do with it before you collect it. So at that time, we were discussing a lot, and as you've heard before, we were already in this project with Microsoft and EY, and lately also with our partner from Nedamco, looking at ways of how we can use this data, how we can, first of all, collect and put this data together and make sure that at the Secretariat level we have the right means to collect and to store the data that will be coming from the parties under the Paris Agreement. Just an idea, for a developed country, like one submission on the Paris Agreement under the enhanced transparency framework could lead to 1 million data points. So there's a lot of data on greenhouse gas emissions, on the NDC progress, on finance, technology, and capacity building for many years. Some parties are reporting from 1990, so there's a lot of data coming. And after the 1 year, so is now looking back what happened in this last year, the turnaround is quite impressive. Currently, we have around 120 countries that reported their biennial transparency reports. We have more than 100 countries that have provided their data in the tabular formats, which I can tell you again, there's a huge amount of data coming from all these countries. And we managed to make sure that the data is collected, is stored, and it's properly, let's say, presented in the Secretariat so that we can use it properly, so we can analyze it and provide the right analysis for this. So we were talking at that time how we can make sure that this Climate Data Hub is the right instrument. And the idea to build it was not only to have this internal data lake where all this information comes together and is stored in the Secretariat, but also, as you've heard before, to have the right tools for the experts that are reviewing all this information. You know, all these reports are being reviewed independently. Experts cannot go down and look into, I don't know, 30 years of data for one country with all these tables and so on. So we need some tools that are useful for the experts to be able to use them when they are reviewing the information. And on top of this, we needed a place for the data to be available to the public. Not only the internal storage, the internal data lake, the review tools that are needed for the experts, but also something that the public can use. And this is where also the AI was coming into the discussions, and we started with our partners to see how this can be done. Now, in terms of principles, to stay long on this, but I have this idea of the principles that we have used. So we were looking at 5 things. First of all, the centralized authoritative data source for climate. That's in the future, this is what the climate data will be. It will be that place where you go and you have all the information there. And this is the place where some... Okay. Okay, I'm still not good with the technology, even that I'm working for this for 10 years. So the whole idea was that the moment we will be ready with this, and you've seen that, we are at the beginning. We are planning to have all the data sets as much as possible for people to go and have some kind of a one-stop shop for climate data. That's the future. That's the plan for us. And in addition, we are in the AI era, and there's no way we get out without AI, and everybody's talking about AI. So a lot of our discussions with Microsoft and with EY were how we can use AI in this. It should be simple, because we usually have this thing on climate data is complicated. It's actually not climate data. It's like energy data and agriculture and waste, and there are so many things. And for the public, it's complicated to see these kind of things. But then, in addition to this, we are looking for automating the data and the visualization. You've seen a little bit. We are looking for more like charts and graphs, and scalability. You've seen we have only the finance data now, the technology, but we are looking at in the future to have the greenhouse gas data, the Article 6 data, all the things that are happening. And then the public engagement and transparency. This is extremely important for the Secretariat, how the public is engaged in this and how we make the data transparent. I will conclude with the challenges. Indeed, it's not easy. Like you've seen, this is the first part of the project. Data quality and consistency is one of the things that we are working a lot to make sure that we have these things. The integration of technologies, capacity building for parties and for public. This is very important. We have data, we have official data that is coming from parties. This will be the very authoritative place where you will be able to look for data that is coming officially from parties. It's extremely important. And then maintaining trust and transparency, and making sure that we have the solution for the fragmented data and the manual processes that are happening. The last thing to say is that the resource constraints is something that we need to tackle. We are here to honor today the efforts of many people. You just see some of us that are involved, but there are many colleagues in UNFCCC Secretariat, in UI, Microsoft, in Aramco that are putting this together. Just an announcement, there will be a live demonstration like the one that you've seen in the video on 17 and 18 November. This will be announced on the screens. And now it's time to implement the Paris Agreement. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vlad. And I think this is the first time for both of us that being loud, it's really a good thing, because we are really competing with many noises and songs. But thank you, Vlad, also for flagging the why and why this is so important. And not only for parties, because I think we are usually focusing on parties, but also for non-party stakeholders. And with that, I would like to turn now to Marcio. We know Microsoft has been at the forefront of this partnership with the UNFCCC, and we wanted to now see from your perspective how can advanced data analytics and AI can support transparency and the ambition mechanisms in the Paris Agreement. And perhaps maybe you can bring from your perspective the lessons that you have from industries or other global projects that Microsoft is bringing into this collaboration, on how you're using that to ensure that this climate hub remains adaptable and also looking into the future.
Thank you, Veronica. So first thing, I want to thank everybody. As a Brazilian, thank you for coming. I know it's a long flight, even for us, but I hope you enjoy Brazil. I hope you enjoy Belém. It's a pleasure to be here at this panel. As an IP attorney, I never thought I would be on a climate panel in the UNFCCC. But to answer your question, I think Melanie gave a little bit a hint. No, it's my first COP, but as she was mentioning, the COP when she started in 2006, where they were waiting for the documents to be released, and the difficulty to analyze all that information. And as we have more and more countries and more data to analyze, it's impossible to do it without technology. So I think the first objective is to simplify reporting. The tool will be able to gather information in different formats and from different sources, from different countries, and in a simple way with questioning, answering as a free speech, we were talking to the tool, we can get accurate and precise information, and that will help us turning data into decisions, because as Vlad mentioned, data without, if we don't know what we are using and how we are using the data, doesn't really have a value. So the potential for all gathering all this data to turn into decisions that will help us in the climate agenda will be essential. I think another point important to highlight is to drive public transparency. As we get more and more complex and in the geopolitical arena, I think transparency is important, not only for the countries, but also for society, as we want society to be part of the solution. We can't, the countries alone can do that without society playing an important role. So having transparency will be key for us, and I think the tool will be able to do that, because not only the countries will be able to input data and get information, but also the public will have access to an opportunity to use the tool. I think another very important, one of the most important actions is accelerating action, actually. The data will be an instrumental tool for us to drive innovation, to measure what's going well, what's not going so well, how we can improve, and this action that we need as we approach to the deadlines and to the the challenges we have in climate, I think will be important for us to move fast. And to go to your second question, I think the hub is going to be, we borrowed idea from many sectors. I think the interesting part of being in a company like Microsoft, we are working in several segments. We work in verticals from health, financial, climate, legal. So we are borrowing, for instance, a lot of the module ideas of interoperability from the financial sector, and that will be also strategic for us to develop the tools that we need. I think that will be that's one lesson that we learn, so we can learn fast and scale our solution to drive the goals that we want to achieve in this agenda. I think these are more or less the points.
Thank you very much, Marcio, also for flagging how transparency will improve and enhance climate action, which I think is how we see transparency. And now I would like to go with Colm. We know EY brings a global perspective on both risk management and sustainability transformation. So I wanted to hear from you on how can we convene across ecosystems to accelerate progress towards decarbonization and sustainable growth.
Thank you, Veronica. Let's go back to your question. How can ecosystems accelerate decarbonisation and growth? But actually I want to start with the constraint. And the risk and the constraint, in my experience, is fragmentation. So let's go back to Vlad. Vlad made the point that each country will submit around 1 million data points every time they submit times about 200 countries. So that's 200 million data points where we are starting from. And the underlying systems which countries rely upon are so different. And it's not just the underlying systems, how data is captured, the various processes, but actually data comes with dialect, different languages, different dialect, but again, when you try and consolidate all of this data, we start with a massive constraint. So that's where ecosystems are really, really important. And at EY, we have been hugely supportive of working with Microsoft and with other alliance partners for many years, just around ecosystem thinking. And actually, our largest partners, the largest vendors, particularly Microsoft, have really changed and developed their thinking over the last few years. And there's an acceptance that one enterprise system universally deployed doesn't work any longer. And this is where this platform is crucial, because it can lean on, and the intention is to lean on the various ecosystems within each country and actually give us an opportunity to draw this information together, which will come from so many different forms. It will be submitted in so many different ways. And actually, this is where ecosystem has just been a game changer. And I personally come from, well, first of all, Ireland, as you can tell from the accent, but I also come from an energy background and a personal experience in energy systems where ecosystems are an accelerator. Back to your point, Veronica. So let me give you one very quick example. There is a process in energy planning which takes 20,000 days to actually put together. So, sorry, 20,000 hours. 20,000 hours, which is roughly 15 people for 6 weeks to run these models. And actually, by drawing together an ecosystem strategy, by leveraging two types of capital, which is technology capital and AI skills capital, this same process now runs in 4 minutes. 20,000 hours to 4 minutes. But the really important, and you will hear those stories a lot around ecosystems and technology, but actually what's really crucial is what we call the helicopter effect. So we can now see things looking down on systems that we would never have seen before. And that's the example which we will draw from the transparency reporting. And when you can see things in a different way, what that does is unlocks capital, unlocks where do you point focus, where do we point funding, and where do we point talent and action. So again, Veronica, back to your question, ecosystems are not just about drawing data, but it's actually accelerating actions. So let me, in the interest of time, I'm going to pause and hand back to you.
Thank you so much, Coleman. I think it's part of our motto, working together for transparency, and the importance of that, and how to use information as an accelerator. And with that, last but not least, I think, Ludwig, your work really bridges between private finance, technology, and climate innovation, and especially in the global south. So you bring a different perspective. And from your perspective, what are the key priorities and needs of African and other developing nations as they align with emerging technologies like AI and big data? And what more needs to be done to strengthen digital infrastructure and data capacity and ensure equitable participation in the new era of climate analytics?
Thank you. Very, very easy question, short answers. First of all, thank you to the partners on the panel here. Just for background, NEDAMCO works with countries in the global south. I'm going to take Ethiopia as an example, where we work closely with the Ethiopian government, and we have aimed to build a digital twin over as many domains where the government can utilize that data and AI to have better decision-making, simulations, and so forth. And to your point, I think it's really focused on the willingness of a country, policy, capacity building, and then going into action. And I think in Ethiopia's case, there's a great willingness to adopt technology. I've seen in other countries in the global south where on a leadership level there's maybe a misunderstanding of on-prem versus cloud, on using AI, data, sovereignty, security. So there needs to be a willingness. Out of that willingness comes policy. So I think for countries in the global south, a strong data policy, for example, a GDPRE or a version of that is very important to being able to adopt technologies such as the AI available today. And then, yeah, in order to go to action, capacity building is extremely important. Within government, but within the educational systems, very important as well. So just to zoom into Nedamco for a moment, when we came into Ethiopia, we started off with a technology academy. We were the first training partner for AWS, Microsoft, Amazon, to train Ethiopian youth in these cloud technologies and kind of the surrounding and underlying tech that comes with that, in order for the next generation to be able to build these solutions and tools tailored to their country. Ethiopia has now, in partnership with the UAE, committed to training 5 million people in AI. So that's extremely important for a country to make that step. We've been really focused on leveraging data throughout different domains. So we've been partnering with multiple ministries on being able to enrich local data with publicly available data, and to really focus on how can we make these ministries ready to tap into AI as it becomes available, and really focus on building the infrastructure for the ministries to tap into the next and newest AI thing that is coming along. As we are telling them, look, Microsoft, OpenAI, choose your favorite model, and say they're going to come out with the next model tomorrow and the day after, or whether it's the Climate Data Hub that's going to come out with a model. But you as a ministry can focus on providing the education to your colleagues, your youth, to be ready, and to make sure that your organizations are set up where you are collecting that data, where you have that data ready to tap into those AI sources. And I think that is really where Nedamco, as the newest partner with the Data Hub, has really been saying, okay, this is so important for a UN agency like the UNFCCC to have a Data Hub, to make that available to third parties, to also create tools for companies for governments to upload that data. How can we sit on the other side of the table and help governments also source that data digitally, use AI, use different weather models, but also agriculture, industry, and kind of, go from the other side of the table and kind of also digitalize that process. What can countries do to do more? That's a great question. Be on top of your game. There's always more to do and more to learn. But I think working together with companies like Microsoft, like EY, many others out there, for countries in the global south to also embrace that and look out for those partnerships. Because in my own experience, they have very good intentions, and I think the willingness leads to good policy, and if you have good policy, you can very safely embrace those partnerships and get the most out of it instead of trying to push those away. But again, thank you to the panelists and to our newest partnership. Very exciting stuff.
Thank you, Ludwig, and also for flagging how capacity building is very important. And I think we will probably talk to you to understand how the Technology Academy work and what lesson learned we can also use when planning capacity building activities from our side as well. And with that, we are very close to the time of the closing of the event, but I wanted to see whether you have any further questions for the panel. We have a very rich panel here, so maybe there's something that you would like to ask. Yes. If you can please say your name and your organization.
Hi, Matt Hanford from EY. And Ludovic, I think this is a question for you. I'm very curious. You spoke about the academy and sort of enabling countries, especially in developing regions, to be able to better utilize the platforms, the data. How do you think you're going to be tracking, working with the other partners, tracking use and implementation of the Climate Data Hub? For example, are there certain metrics you're going to be looking for? Are there certain elements of use stemming from the Climate Data Hub? Just to better inform the use characteristics, who's using it, what parts of the world are accessing that data and for what use. I think that's really important.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think we measure our success not so much by user, but more by kind of outcomes. So if I understood your answer correctly, just to give an example, water is one of the domains that we're focused on. That is from ministerial level to a state level to a municipal level. And there's different actors throughout those organizations working within the platform, but it really comes down to, is there more water being delivered to more users on the end of the day? Do we have a data point that can prove that? Is the water of a higher drinking quality? Yes. And in the process, there is a lot of hand-holding from us to kind of bring adoption deeper within that organization. For example, the water utility company. But the success is really measured by the outcomes. But to your point that you only get there while people use the platform and use the insights.
Thank you. Do you have any further question? We see.
Hi, thank you. My name is So from Japan. I ran into this session. Amazed your hard work because I actually working in Microsoft Japan, and also I came here as a youth delegate from Japan Climate Youth. And I chose Microsoft for sustainability. I just joined as a new hire here. It's been working for 3 years. And just, I'm also following the topic of GST and ETF. It's really important, but there is still an NDC round, like the gap between the so-called haves and have-nots, like a developing country and developed countries. So do you believe the technological advancement and also AI platform like this Climate Data Hub will also help developing countries to report and get an insight out of it to create the NDCs, the latest version? Thank you so much.
Well,
I think it's okay.
no, I can try to answer your question, but of course, working at Microsoft, we have a bias. We think that technology can solve most of our problems. So the short answer, yes, absolutely. I think, of course, technology alone can be used for good and for bad. But we have a very optimistic view of the technology, and we try to develop it in a very responsible way. This project is part of a long-term commitment from Microsoft. In 2020, we issued our sustainability goals of carbon negative, waste zero, water positive, protect lands. We have been measuring that, and we have been using technology, our technology and AI, not only for to measure our work and what's going on and what's needs improvement, but also helping our ecosystem of partners and customers on how to deploy the technology on their business as well, so they can, reach their goals. And I think overall it's everybody's goals to have a world that is sustainable, right? And so we are very optimistic about the use of AI for that. And I think the Climate Data Hub is a great tool, because it encompasses and enjoins efforts from private sector, from consultants, from UNFCCC, and I think working together is the only way for us to really achieve these goals.
Well, I think with that, I just want to say that thank you a lot for our panelists. Thank you a lot for all of you that are here. I think the Climate Data Hub brings collaboration and technology together, and this will, I think, be the foundation for a transparent and data-driven climate action. And with that, thank you all, and hope to see you in all the Together for Transparency events. And you will see here on my back, you can join the LinkedIn group or check the events, and we'll be happy to see you. Thank you.